Hello, I would like to introduce my colleague, Dr. Ester Cole. We are both on the board of the Association of Jewish Psychologists. Dr. Cole has a long-standing leadership roles in the American and the Canadian Psychological Association, and she's got a long-standing interest in multiculturalism. We're honored to have her here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to speak about a topic that is important to each one of us and psychologically important to talk about, although we rather talk about positive things. And this is mourning, death and mourning, and the Jewish tradition. Having had experiences like other people in other religions, I would like to say that we are all the same, only different. And I will talk about the difference. Mourning and death have certain rituals in the Jewish tradition that are specific. Some of them overlap, and some of them are also differentiated within Judaism because it depends where your history was originated. We are a race. Some people are religious. Some people are not religious. We represent the tapestry of the history of Judaism, and we are a multiracial people. And because of that, there is an impact from the religions and the geographical locations that we came from. This is the beginning of the new year of 5,784 in Judaism. And 10 days after the new year, which is Rosh Hashanah, there is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. And in the Day of Atonement, we remember our fellow members in society, our dead, our beloved, and we integrate them through prayers. And I would like to start by saying that to everything, of course, there is a season, and death is part of that. In Judaism, what happens is that when a person dies, the person has to be buried, if possible, out of respect for the dignity of the body, within 24 hours. There are exceptions if some family members have to fly in from other countries or from other places, but by and large, they have to be buried before the Sabbath sets in. And the burial is definitely important to describe because it's unlike some other societies. In Israel, for example, when my parents died, and I saw it both as a bereaved person and as a member of the community and went to others, the body is washed and a white shroud is put on the body, and the body is guarded because the idea is that we respect the person even before they are buried. And the reason it's a simple white shroud is the fact that we wanted intersectional factors not to impact on the SES components of the person's lives. Everybody is identical. So I know that there are simple pine caskets, but in Israel, people are usually buried by being covered in a white shawl, which symbolizes purity. And there is a prayer that is said, and then people go to their community setting and the bereavement starts. The bereavement in Jewish culture is a process. It's not an event. And because it's a process, there are customs that involve the entire community. The first one is that there is what is called Shiv'ah, or in North America, it's called Shiva, which means the number 7. And it came from a long time ago. And the bereaved family sits for 7 days in mourning. There is a cut at the clothes of the person who is bereaved to symbolize that their heart is broken. Some people say it's a symbol that the temple was distracted, but other people are just putting a black ribbon to symbolize the same thing. There's a covering of their mirrors, and they are sitting low out of respect for the person who died, but also to symbolize discomfort and mourning. However, the house is open and people are coming to visit for 7 days. Look at the psychologically sensible community interpretation of the process of grieving at the beginning. You come together and the door is open. You do not say, hello, how are you? You are led in by others who are there, and you talk and you observe and you share. And it's almost like a reunion of people who are meaningful to the person who died. And because of that, what is happening is that suddenly there are both tears and joy of memories of people did not see one another for ages, coming together and sharing stories with the family, not only about how sad they are, but also sometimes stories the family didn't know about the person who died, who was a mischievous child, or somebody who did some good to the community that nobody really recorded. And there is a lot of food brought in because we communicate through talking and eating and making sure that there is no hospitality that the family has to adhere to. And after that, for 30 days, after the 7 days, they get up, they go to the grave. But I want to say that every night and every morning, 10 people pray together as a symbol of the community in the house of the bereaved. And then there is a simple tombstone and other bereavement rituals that I'm not sure we have time to talk about today. But because it is the Day of Atonement, I want to show you. This is a candle that burns 24 hours and sometimes more, and it's called Iskor. It's remembrance. And we say Iskor on holidays when we remember the person who's no longer with us, but it's a symbol. We also say Iskor about the people who are in our lives who are no longer with us. And I do want to say that on Yom Kippur, which is a great tradition to ask for forgiveness from your fellow men and women in case you hurt them without intention. What is happening is when we say Iskor, we also say, and this is the English translation, may God remember the souls of my relatives and friends who have gone to their eternal rest. In tribute to their memory, I pledge to perform acts of charity and goodness. May the deeds I perform and the praise I offer help to keep their souls bound in the bond of life and the eternal source of blessing for those left behind. And last, I want to show you through poetry that came into psychology with the same concept of building community resilience. And this is a translation from Yiddish. And Yiddish was a language that Eastern European people talked about. This is somebody by the name of Yoash, and he lived in the 1872 to 1927, and he wrote a short poem called People. And I will read it to you with thanks for listening. Now, few are mighty ones and less of the many, but see the sky brighter and wider, and still we go linked together and closer, climbing up and up the steps to where each of us gives his full height, will push away the ladder and stand alone and share. Thank you.